Hello, I'm Refashionista Sherry, and I had such great success with my no-sew granny square poncho, which I'll link down below for you in case you missed it. I thought, you know what, I betcha I can transform another thrifted vintage granny square mini quilt into a shirt if I put my mind to it. And so that's what we're gonna do today. Let's get making. So to create this adorable, quick and easy project, all you need is your granny square blanket, a loose-fitting, comfortable sweater to use as a template, and your hand sewing gear. Okay, so the very first thing you need, of course, is your awesome granny square quilt. And I mean, you can use pretty much any size. The only thing that is very important is when it is folded in half with the fold at the top, you need to be able to kind of hold it up to your body and see that, yes, there is more than enough room here to make sleeves and for it to go around your body, because, you know, we're gonna make it into a shirt, or I guess a granny square sweater. So the first step is to simply fold your blanket evenly in half. So right now you want to have the fold at the top of the blanket, and this fold is actually going to become the kind of head hole and shoulder area of your top. Okay, so to find the center square, which is going to become the head hole, it's actually super easy. There's two ways to do so. If your blanket is like mine and has an odd number of squares going across the top, mine has 7, all you have to do is count 1, 2, 3 from one side and 1, 2, 3 from the other side, and there's my center square. If your squares are even numbered, it's a little bit trickier, but still super duper easy. All you have to do is fold your blanket in half again, and the square at the folded point corner is your center square. As you can see, there you go, there's my center, and same thing if it's folded. So now, just like my no-sew granny square poncho, we want to remove this center square to create our head hole, and you know, it is super duper easy. The other one was actually easier because the yarn was a different color here. Here it's black, so I gotta kind of try to find where it is connected, and you only want to be cutting the yarn on the center square where it is connected. That way the squares on either side will still remain totally intact, and you won't have to, you know, finish any of the seams. It'll already be done. All right, so I think let's go for this one here. And aha, yay, it's coming out. So I'm just gonna continue and remove all of the yarn that's connecting my center square. So just to prove beyond any shadow of a doubt once again that I am not perfect at all, and I make mistakes all of the time when I'm refashioning. Yeah, I thought, hey, I'm gonna be clever, and I snipped a piece of yarn and pulled it, and look what happened. It started taking off this square as well. So I'm gonna have to stitch this back together. And yeah, so just here's a lesson: pay attention to what you're doing, and if you need to tie the yarn off, make sure you tie it off, don't just pull it out. And I now have the perfect head hole, and it is nice and stretchy, so it's more than wide enough to go over my head. So clearly I have now popped my granny square quilt over my head, and the neckline looks great. And now we're going to create the side seams, because just like this is a poncho and we're making a sweater. Okay, so there's two ways you can do this. Very, very easy. First way is to just kind of lift your arms up and match up the corners, and then just kind of pin it where you would like, you know, your side seams to start at the bottom, and then put another pin at your kind of underarm area, and then you're just going to stitch it. That's it. Super duper simple. But I have a a more precise way of doing this, so let's go back to the table. So for this next method, you're going to need your quilt folded in half with the right sides facing. Now, sometimes it can be difficult to figure out what is the right side when you're dealing with like quilts or tablecloths or linens of just about any kind. With something that is knit or crocheted like this, it's actually kind of simple. You just want to find which side has the most ends tied off on it. So like this one, there's one here, there's another one here, there's another one here. So this is definitely going to be the inside of my sweater, which is why I have it folded now with the right sides facing. Okay, now we can grab our oversized sweater and we're going to use this as the simple template. So you want to have the collar areas lined up as best as you can. I mean, this has a much wider collar than this, so we're just, guesstimating. Nothing has to be super duper amazingly perfect at this point. Okay, so then you want to check the side seam and sleeve area and see where exactly do they kind of fall on top of the quilt. And it's going to be this area that you're going to be removing to create your side seam and sleeve. Now, there's a couple different ways to do this, and you can simply pop a little pin in there to mark the spot, or I'm lucky with mine here, and I can see that it is simply these bottom two squares that need to be removed. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to carefully take out these two squares on both sides, and yeah, just do the exact same method that I did to remove the collar square, and then we will move on to the next step. So now that I have my pieces removed from the front and the back, and it was so easy, plus because I did the same method as I did to do the head hole, all of my edges here are finished already, so I don't have to worry about fraying. Just maybe a bit here on the very, very bottom and here at this hem, but I will just do some extra stitches to make sure that doesn't happen. Okay, so now I just gotta hand stitch this together, and I always like to use a whip stitch when I am sewing knits. And again, this is so easy. We're just gonna put our thread through and anchor the thread. If you don't know how to do stitches, hand stitching, then I would highly suggest actually enrolling in my Refashioning 101 e-course, because everything is in there showing exactly how to do, oh, I don't know, loads. I don't even know how many. There's so many hand stitches in that course, as well as, of course, machine stitching and everything else that goes along with refashioning. So again, link is down below for my Refashioning 101 e-course. And yeah, I'm just gonna continue stitching this closed, then I'm gonna go repeat the whole process on the other side. So I now have both sides chopped and stitched together. So let's flip it right side out. Oh, that looks great. That looks great. Look at that. Perfect, perfect. And now we can go try it on and style it up. Before we try it on, I would like some advice from you guys. So these are all the pieces I chopped today, and of course I'm gonna add them to my stash of granny squares here. And I kind of still have a lot, even with all of my granny square upcycles recently. I still have a lot. So do let me know down below, what can I possibly do with these? And I don't want to make a blanket out of them. I want to make something to wear, possibly bags. I don't know. You let me know down below, and yeah, I shall get making some more granny square tutorials then. Come on. I mean, I say come on, and I mean, and I don't know how many times, whenever I am redoing the subtitles on my videos, it's very, very funny, because it really shows me how I actually speak, and it's, a lot of exclamations, and I can't believe it, and I mean, come on. Anyway, you don't want to hear about that. Anyway, so, this, I don't know what, it's, wowza. And how easy was it? There was not any machine stitching involved. There was a very simple whip stitch, cutting and a whip stitch. And look what you get. Like, and look how nice that looks there. I mean, it's just, seriously, come on. And I think I got this for like $1 at the thrift store more than a few years ago, and actually did use it as a lap blanket until I went, I'm gonna make that into something. Anyway, I love this, and I'm definitely gonna wear it all the time now. And I think it's actually gonna work really well layered over like a long sleeve tee, or even just like a plain colored blouse would look quite cool. And of course, with high-waisted trousers, this is just perfection. What else can I say? I am stunned into near silence by how awesome this came out. And as always, stay tuned for next week. You know, every Friday, I have a new awesome Refashionista video coming right at you. And now also during the week, I'm also trying to post something as well. And it might not be a refashion. It could be a sustainable style video, or maybe a kind of recipe thing of something that I just enjoy. If there's anything you want to see specifically, do let me know down below. And I know I keep saying this over and over and over, but please go check out my Refashioning 101. I put so much work into this course. It is my other baby, and I'm very, very proud of it. And it's gotten wonderful reactions from the people who have taken it. So I'm giving myself some credit here, and I'm quite proud, and I would love it if you would just pop on over there and check it out. And you know what? Enroll, because why not? You can learn absolutely everything from start to finish, and it's just a wealth. It's everything that's in here, I put into that course for you. So pop on over and check it out. And of course, you can find everything at refashionistasherry.com. My channel is full of stuff. Be sure to check out my new seasonal winter refashion DIY index, or playlist, I guess it's called, here on my channel. And enough blah blah. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and I'll catch ya on the zigzag. This is so awesome.
This is Confessions of a Refashionista.